Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another guide video. This one took quite a bit of teamwork from the Defiance pack, and specifically Jacker, who put in a lot of work to make a comprehensive reading guide to go along with this, which you'll find linked to the top of the comments of this video. Um, just as a precursor before we do get into this, Season 1 has just dropped. We haven't had the most time to actually theorycraft test and actually pump out this guide, but I am confident that this is probably the most correct guide out there currently. There was upwards of 10 people working on actually gathering information and getting all this down, and they were nice enough to let me use this in their video. So yeah, let's get started. We'll start with the lightning companions as per usual. There's only two choices. In this case, it's going to be Wolf for the flat solar damage. This is going to apply to all of your summons and both of your gun types in this recommended build. And of course, Yumiko, who increases the length of Misfortune and Corrupt, which are our damage buffs, and is an essential part of making sure that we're getting the most uptime on our damage dealing abilities. Moving on to the weapons. Pretty straightforward on this one. For our pulse, we have gone for the Exotic Furies 3. It's just a very strong pulse. It gives you a self damage buff. The catalyst auto reloads and it just does high damage the more you level it up. All in all, a solid pick. If you don't have this, I would highly recommend Ultimatum with the perks of Clepystra. It's just 75% once it's all the way up. It's a crazy damage number. If you want more sustainable, you go Glutton. Honestly, depends on whether you're at a boss phase with an easy to hit precision target or you want just overall damage increase. For your first option, you want Fraternity or Annihilation if you're up against bosses. That's the only time you're going to want Annihilation, is if you are strictly looking for damages. When we look at option number 2, we have opted for Scorched Earth. Your ideal traits are going to be the same. It's going to be Clepsystra or Fraternity or Annihilation in the first slot. We've gone for this simply for the main reason of not only is the DPS numbers on it really high, it's the rate of fire. It allows us to stack up our corruption a lot faster. We're just getting more bullets out at a quicker rate of fire. It's a lot better. For reference, the rate of fire on Furies goes up to about the same after charging. And then the BVD is a lot lower. You might as well just be using Primary, because once you get to a certain level of high content, it is literally just going to be your summon / ability misfortune damage that is doing the most damage anyway. Moving on to artifact number 1, artifact number 2, artifact number 3, and artifact number 4. Please ignore these. These are not entirely correct, but I do have good alternatives to show you. Starting with number 1, and that is going to be, is honestly just going to be your choice between whether you want Warding Pact here, which is going to essentially lead to overall less damage taken, because essentially with Estela you're always going to have 3 summons up. It'll be 33% less damage at max level. Or, if you're not that confident in managing your summoning just yet, I would recommend Nourishing Pact, which will give you a 20% flat heal for each summon that you use. Moving on to slot number 2, I think this is a pretty straightforward option. I would go for Siphon Impact. Once again, a massive health increase when you do get a final blow. It really does go well with Estela's other ability, where once you get to copy 1 Estela, a lot of the damage that you do and your summons do is a lot of life still, a lot of health back. You'll notice that in any ad situation, as long as you've got 3 summons up, you're just not dying. Max health we don't care too much about, just simply because we are getting so much health back. Max health isn't really a factor when we're just pumping out these heals and we're topping up a health bar that is already decently sized. Average, if I might say. Moving on to number 3. You have a choice between Bellicose and Rampaging. Bellicose, I believe, is going to be the clear winner. I know Rampaging grants the wielder you more damage, but I must emphasize that Estela is a character where weapons, especially in the current meta where you have snipers that exist, you have dual pistols that are just pumping out damage with correct modifiers, they are in the backseat when it comes to abilities. And summoning is what we need. Summons deals more damage overall. I just want to clarify that we have tested this. We thought it might be a wording issue. This does not apply to summons too. This isn't just, hey, you summon and it's gonna give your summons this damage buff too. No, this is strictly you, guns. We go Bellicose Pact. It's not even close. It's our only option. Nothing even comes close to it. We did try out a few things. We did try out, just for the sake of actually testing, we tried out Vigilant. And it wasn't ideal. It didn't feel like it had the same impact. And your summons are lasting 35, 40 seconds. It's just not enough to get the trade-off. In the fourth slot, you have a choice between Resonate Impact or Responsive Pact. Now, this is fantastic because we actually have a slot where we do have a choice for once. The other slots are sort of, hey, take this perk. This Resonate Impact is going to be really, really, really good for bosses. Okay, it's a large damage buff. I would highly recommend it if you are looking to tackle content where it's regularly a big boss. For example, raids. I wouldn't recommend it if you're just looking for add damage because your summons can be all over the place. It really makes you focus on moving around your misfortune. Responsive can be okay, I believe, for a newer player. Honestly, it really is personal choice. I'm opting for Resonating just because of how much raiding I do, but it is completely up to you. Lastly, when we are looking at the perks that we are going for, of course we want to game for, all of the golds for the most part, but there's a certain order that we specifically want to aim for. Of course, number one is defensive boost. That's our S tier for defensive ones. And then for attacking ones, we want to go for ability strength because this applies to your relics, to your summons. They will get this 50% damage buff once they have already been summoned, as well as signature boost. These two are very ideal. Like I said, I don't think weapon enhancement is that big of a factor on Estela, at least not until she gets a stronger weapon choice in her exotic category. I would say that this is going to be ideal for you guys. We'll go over talent tree and then we'll have a quick look at the relic abilities because it is quite a different character from past characters we've seen. It is a little bit confusing. C1 is pretty straightforward and it's what I would recommend if you really want to turn Estela into a, PvE solo queen. Essentially, once you get C1, this will scale with your level. So I believe it starts at 10 and 300 respectively for you guys. You will then recover health with Misfortune. So, you throw Misfortune on the target, which is your first ability. So you have your summon and Misfortune. And then you start attacking that. Your summons will never die, and neither will you. You are permanently alive on any boss fight as long as you keep shooting. It is very strong. If we're looking at C2, it's pretty poor. It's not ideal at all. It's just like a sacrifice, and it doesn't do like high enough damage to actually justify anything. So it's pretty negligible. C3 turns Estela into something crazy because your summons now become 42 seconds long. This means that you have permanent uptime on level 3 summons. They will not disappear. Once you have got all 3 up, you always have 1 ready to go. As long as you space it out by, say like 16 seconds each between them or whatnot, whatever the calculation is, it will just not run out. See, 4 and 5 are also quite strong. I mean, like the summons that deal additional damage, an extra 50% with Misfortune, and then 5 I believe is 20%. Yep, like an extra 20% summon damage. Estela, I believe, for the first time in a while, really does benefit off of copies in terms of the damage department. That's not to say you're not going to be able to do everything a C6 Estela will, but more now than ever, a C6 character is going to be doing a lot more than a C0, especially with how corruption works with C6. It is a very nice quality of life addition, and essentially just make sure that you have corruption up pretty much all the time. Like it's just going to be maxed all the time. We'll do a quick rundown of Estela's abilities. Like it is a bit of a mouthful. Essentially, attacking every combatant with a weapon accumulates corruption, up to 10 times a second. You cast illusions and it consumes corruption, and you can cast different levels. This will be this ability here. And essentially, the different levels, we'll go into the numbers slightly, have a slightly different variation. For example, a level 1 will attack once every 2 seconds and only attack with 1 breath. However, a level 3 will attack every 1.5 seconds and will attack with 2. Now, what I like to do when I'm in a phase that I know is going to last a while, I think level 30 of Expanse, right? The play I believe to actually maximize your damage will be to, you know, obviously you've got a servitor up here. You're going to want to summon what? Okay, well, long ass reload. You're going to want to summon 3, okay? Because then they're permanently up now for 30 seconds, okay? That gives you time to then build to a level 3. Okay, so now you have 3 up that are doing constant damage. You throw 1 out, the level 2 disappears. You've now got a level 3 doing even more damage. That's going to be the strat. Is sort of just, hey, make sure you're maintaining 3 at all times. Start with level 2s. And then slowly replace those with level 3s. And that's going to be how you optimize damage. Her ult is pretty self-explanatory. It is a big one. And it does a lot of damage. It is around like 1800 per tick. Reloads. And it keeps going. That is without corruption on. You throw the debuff on. And it goes up to 30k. Estela is a sustained damage champion with a lot of burst hidden behind her ult. And she should be played as such as that you are not a real character until you get your summons out. Hopefully this guide is helpful to at least some of you. Remember, it is still early days. It is very likely to change once we get more exotics. Because Fury's realistically isn't the best exotic in the game. It is just the best weapon option for her to actually pump out damage. But yeah, no, if you did enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe. There will be a guide in the comments. Please do go into the Discord thread. If you have any burning questions, it is a lot easier for us to reply as a group. But yeah, thank you for watching. See ya.